Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be looking at how more coverage is coming out that Biden is in trouble with the black vote. Now, they're talking about Biden in this particular article. As you can see, they're talking about the disappointment in black voters. So let's get into that. Now, they say black voters say President Biden has abandoned his pledge to always have their backs. Now, if you never heard that clip, let's go ahead and just roll that real quick for you.
Especially those moments, and especially those moments where this campaign was at its lowest ebb, the African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. Always had my back, and I'll have yours. Always had my back, and I'll have yours.
So you remember when you just saw that, he said that he would have the black American community's back because we had his, right, as a collective. And what he has done, nothing. Let's continue. And they're saying black voters are threatening to withhold their support in 2024. They're saying some are even drifting toward former President Donald Trump. Now, say the lack of enthusiasm among black voters could prove fatal to Mr. Biden's reelection chances. They say they formed the core of Mr. Biden's election in 2020, and a dip in just one or two battleground states such as Georgia or Michigan will likely determine the outcome. Now, they say, and they quote, "I talk with many black Americans who are disappointed and say in the things Biden is doing," said a Riley Washington, who leads a religious organization aimed at helping the black community. He said an awful lot of things about helping black Americans. He said, but he said his actions have not reflected in those promises. And what he has done doesn't really encourage or support me as a black American. Now, David Dix, a Democrat Party strategist, argues that Mr. Biden has delivered on his promises to help lift the black community, but said he hasn't promoted these efforts because the wars in the Middle East and Ukraine are taking so much of his bandwidth. That's a lie. It's a lie because the first thing we seen Biden do when he got in office was sign that Asian hate crime bill. So he started off on a bad foot. This is way before Ukraine. This is way before Israel and Hamas. He started off wrong right there. Then after that, he started papering up migrants. Migrants come here, get all kind of benefits. And there was a video I just saw with the guy talking about a migrant that came here for a whole month, talking about a program he got in with the government, and he got everything like on the red carpet. Why you not getting it? And I'll probably cover that tomorrow, but I want to stick to this here today. So Biden was already had a bad taste in black America's mouth for the things that he was already doing with the migrants and with the Asian hate crime bill. Black folks say, hey, well, for past 400 plus years, we've been talking about we need a hate crime bill. Where is ours? We've been here a whole lot longer than any of these other groups. We built the doggone country. We suffered in this country. And yet he gets in, and even prior before he got in, he told the civil rights bootlicks that you gonna have to work with the Hispanics. He said, because there's more of them here than y'all. Well, yeah, because of open border policies, yeah. And then when he was already telling you what his agenda was when he told them. His agenda was to have an open border policy and flood the zone, flood it. And that's exactly what he has done. And black America has seen that. So no, Ukraine just added to it because when we were talking about reparations, we don't really have money for reparations. How are we going to do that? And then we seen with the pandemic, we seen with Ukraine, he can just cut checks in the billions. Cut checks is not nothing. So Biden already had another bad taste in the mouth. The Israel-Ukraine thing, nobody even talking about that, be honest with you, in the community. We're not involving ourselves in that. We focusing on our issues and our problems. Now, continuing, they said that, and they quote, once he starts to connect, talking about Biden, to his policies to improving the lives of black Americans, you will see the slippage slow down a bit. That's a lie. So you Democrat strategists, you need to stop lying to them. You need to stop focusing on international affairs in Israel and Ukraine and less about how his progress are helping, will cause slippage. Now, say a poll by the New York Times Siena College revealed 22% of black voters in 6 battleground states will support Mr. Trump, and 71% will back Mr. Biden in a theoretical rematch. Now, say just days after Mr. Biden won the 2020 election, he acknowledged the debt he owed the black community for his victory, thanked them for having his back, and vowed that he'll have theirs, as we heard, and you know good well that was a bold-faced lie. Now, I say a Republican presidential candidate hasn't won more than 12% of the black vote since Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1956. Let's say Mr. Biden has moved to shore up support from minority voters. They didn't say black, said minority. Now, say before Mr. Biden's Thanksgiving break, he said he taped 3 interviews with black and Hispanic radio shows, including Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell and the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. I said during the interviews, he said he discussed how his economic agenda benefited black and Hispanic communities, but black community leaders have no reason, they said, for the erosion of support for Mr. Biden, but many are quick to point out black community leaders have no one reason for the erosion of support for Mr. Biden, but many are quick to point to soaring grocery, gasoline, and housing prices. Black families were hit particularly hard when inflation reached a 40-year high last year because they trail white Americans in income, wealth, and financial savings and home ownership. They said in a quote, "We are still feeling the pains of the economic reset," said Stephen Broden, a black conservative, they say, who founded Ebony Beeren to fight the culture wars, they say, in black communities, whoever this guy is. He said a nosebleed in the white community is a hemorrhage in the black community. He said the investment that Biden promised, he said, is not evident. And there has been a gross failure, he said, here that has awakened our community to the fact that the Democratic Party has exploited our community for votes and given us nothing in return. Now, that's 100% true. I agree with brother on that. What have we gotten for over half a century of voting for them? What have we got? Nothing. Now, they say wage gains has cooled more dramatically for black workers, they say, than other Americans. And it's going to cool even more because they're bringing in the migrants. Now, they say the median weekly earnings for full-time employed black people when Mr. Biden took office in January 2021 was $304. It was $299 in the third quarter of this year, according to the Labor Department statistics. And say for all other communities, it was $365 per week. Now listen to that. So when Trump was in office, basically, right until Biden got in, average of $304 per week. Since Biden has been in, you drop down to $299. Other communities are at $365 per week. Now, say the unemployment rate for black workers fell to a record low 4.7% in April, but rose, they say, to 5.8% in October. That outpaced the increase for American workers overall. They said Mr. Broden said black America's economic woes are exacerbated, they say, by Biden's policies that have led to record levels of illegal immigration. He said there is a seething that is happening in our community, say, when they look at what is happening at the border and allowing people to come in and take jobs at the lower part of the economic spectrum, which are jobs taken by the black community. He said the administration disputes claims that it hasn't helped the black community, and say officials point to money from legislative victories such as Mr. Biden's tax and climate law, infrastructure programs, and COVID-19 relief. No, none of that's helping black folks at all. None of it. Because when black folks go to the grocery store to buy food, they don't see the help. When black folks go fill up their cars, they don't see the help. Black folks, a lot of them are so priced out, they can't even afford homes. Even trying to get an FHA loan, because your boy Obama actually started that, because after the 2008 housing crash, he made it more difficult to get a home. So that even started with Obama. Black people, for the most part, are priced out of America. That's why it's imperative for black people to form families. You need family units to make it. Everybody can't make it like they used to, just, I'm going to be single and just do my own thing. Because even our young children who's 21, 22 can't get their apartment sometime unless they got a girlfriend or a boyfriend or they married or something. Now they continue to say, Mr. Washington said Mr. Biden's investments have done little to improve the lives of black Americans. And so he noted higher grocery prices, including $5 for a dozen of eggs, which is unheard of. I remember when eggs was about what, $1.50, somewhere around there for regular. Now they say Mr. Biden's re-election campaign has amplified its message to black voters in recent weeks by spending $25 million on television ads in Phoenix, Atlanta, Detroit, Philadelphia, and other areas. So the campaign also launched a program targeting predominantly black neighborhoods in Milwaukee and other areas. So the ads claiming that Mr. Biden is putting in the work for black America. No, he has not. He has not. He has not. Because if he had put in the work for black America, he would not be in trouble with black America. See, this is the thing. You Democrats, you want to always invest in every other community. You want to let the migrants come in, paper them up. You want the Ukrainians coming in, papering them up. The Asian community gave them a hate crime bill. But when it's time to vote, who you running the ads for? Who you running the ads for? Where is the ad campaign for the Asian community? A lot of them can vote. Why aren't you targeting the Asian community? Even the Democrat shields aren't even saying this. I want y'all to go to the Democrat shields, no matter who they are. And when they talk about the black vote, I want you to go to their chat and tell them, hey, why aren't you talking about the Asian vote? Biden sat there and signed that bill to protect Asian people in this country. And you know what they deemed it as a hate crime? If you even just insulted one of them, they was claiming that's a hate crime. If you didn't want to deal with one of them, that was a hate crime. Like not actually physically harming them. I mean, that's what they were saying. It was a hate crime. So the Democrats did all of that, and you can't go spend $25 million on the Asian vote? What about the migrant vote? Oh, I forgot they can't vote. But what about the imaginary migrant vote that you think you would get later down the line? Some of you trying to pass laws in Democrat states to try to let them get driver's license and vote in local elections. Yeah, they trying that too. But why don't you go holler at all the people that you've been giving money to and investing in? See, it's disrespectful at this point to come to black people and say, vote for me, when you didn't do nothing for black folk. See, in 2020, you could say, hey, I'm better than Trump. I'm gonna be better than him. I'm gonna help y'all. Y'all know me. I was with Obama. Okay. And then now you in, and you've been worse than Trump, a whole lot worse for the economy. Black people's lives have been spiraling down ever since the Biden administration been in office. Now they continue to say that, the largest and earliest ad spurge as if any campaign has ever been placed in the black media outlets. Say in another sign that the Biden campaign is worried about black voters, the campaign dispatched Vice President Kamala Harris to tour historically black colleges and universities to encourage students to vote. They say the administration says its commitment isn't limited to economic investments. As the officials say, Mr. Biden has appointed a record number of black judges, including black women. They say among those is the appointment of Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman on the Supreme Court. Now, I say Mr. Broden dismisses the judicial appointments. He said it is tokenism at its best. He said, if you look at the economic conditions of the community, our kids are lagging far behind. He said, so what, you appointed black judges? What does that have to do with my ability to put food on the table, he said. He said the abortion issue helped deliver some big victories to Democrats on election day this month. And say, but won't go as far with black voters who tend to be more religious and conservative on social issues than urban whites, which is true. Look, real talk. Most black people are socially conservative. We are. We just don't vote conservative, but we're socially conservative. What I'm trying to get black people to do is not vote party, but vote policy. Whoever got the best policy, that's who we go with. We don't vote a party. Who cares what a party do? And the Democrat Party's policies have been anti-black. Because if you don't do for black people, you're anti-black. You're pro everybody else, but you're anti-black people. And we have to pay attention to that. They say now polls suggest that young black voters have soured on Mr. Biden. They say more than older black voters. They say an American Enterprise Institute study released in September found that only 57.9% of black people aged 18 to 49 approve, they say, of Mr. Biden's handling of the presidency compared to 78.9% of black people 50 and older. They say the poll found that only 36.3% of black people ages 18 to 49 say Mr. Biden has accomplished a good a great deal, while 72% older than 50 say that he's done a great job. Now, the reason why a lot of them say he's done a great job, a lot of them are in retirement age. As long as Biden makes sure the Social Security check hit, for a lot of them, he's not doing nothing bad. It's for a lot of them already have their homes in that age group. They're not trying to get a home. They're not trying to get an apartment. They're not fighting for jobs. They're not doing any of that. They're not. So they're set. So what Biden is doing is not harming them. What Biden is harming is that group 18 to 49. That's who he's harming the most. And that's who's suffering the most. The people still trying to buy homes, still trying to get their family set, watching their money go down and not go up. Now, they say the big concern for Democrats, it says not that black voters will flock to Mr. Trump, they say, but they will opt to stay home on election day. There's some evidence shows that it's happening. They say voters in Louisiana last month elected the first Republican governor in nearly a decade. They say only 36% of the state's 3 million registered voters went to the polls. They say, but the drop appears to be even stronger among black voters. They say in 10 of the 15 Louisiana parishes where at least 40% of the residents are black, and say the turnout was below the state average of 36%, including in parishes with the state's two largest cities, New Orleans and Baton Rouge, according to the data from the Louisiana Secretary of State. Black folks in Louisiana sat it out. That's just bottom line. They sat it out. And see, this is the deal. When black people tell you Democrats just to eat cake, go ahead. Go holler at them other groups that you've been giving all this money to. Go holler at them Ukrainians, the ones you brought in here and the ones you still giving money to. Go holler at the Asian community. Go holler at the migrants. Go holler at all them. Go ahead. We gonna move ourselves out the way and let y'all have it. See, they don't like when we do that. Notice that even we are silent and we keep our mouth shut. We don't say anything about what other people got going on and their conflicts. We say, hey, we got to focus on us right now. We're going to put on the cake for our community right now. Everybody crying foul about that. Now they crying foul that black folks say, I'm not doing it. I'm good. And you know what? I say this, and I'm going to repeat it again. If you go out there in this election and you vote back in Biden-Harris administration, black folks is done. Now, I know a lot of black folks saying they don't the whole thing. They say, look, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're gonna have more people sitting it out than anything. But they also gonna have some people that go in there and spite y'all and go vote for Trump. Because Trump's policies are definitely a lot better for black people in business. That's for sure. Trump's policy about getting out the people that's in our cities who's taking resources, that's a lot better for black America. I know Chicago right now is even saying they are threatening to turn the state red. You know what I'm saying? Because they're tired of it. Black folks are sick and tired of every time is some group coming to this country, except the Ukrainians, they dump them in our community. When it was the Vietnam War, they dumped them in our community. The migrants, they dumped them in our community. Everybody get dumped in the black community. And black folks say, nah, man, we sick of that. Let everybody else go take migrants, and you take y'all field house and let them go to y'all schools. And they now in New York, I covered this on one of my reports for the black congregation. They're out there committing crimes. They're out there on tricking now on the street. And some of the countries they come from, that's actually legal. It's not illegal like it is here in America. Now let's continue and say, Mr. Biden's a tepid response, and say from the black community is affecting his reelection, and say at the local level as well. They say an Epic MRA poll released Saturday found that only 62% of black respondents and say will support Mr. Biden for a second term. And say of those who didn't support the president, 17% said they will vote for Mr. Trump, and 17% remain undecided. And there's also a referendum on the Congressional Black Caucus. Right now, Sheila Jackson Lee is going to be in a runoff with John Whitmer here in Houston for mayor. Now, both of them are Democrats, right? And if Sheila Jackson Lee would have done the right thing by black people, she should have easily beat him on election night. I'm just saying, Sheila should be the mayor of Houston, easily. She's been in Congress that long. She should have made the right relationships with people. She should have done for the community. She should have done for the community. She should have went with Obama in '08 like the community wanted her to do. Instead of going with Hillary, going against the community. Now you need the community to show up for you. And they're saying that Whitmer is already leading, and they big time. I think it's seven points ahead of Sheila. So it's looking like that John Whitmer may be the new mayor of Houston, when it should have technically be Sheila's position. But black folks, what they're saying right now to the Democrat Party is that, no, y'all gonna move around, and you can't threaten us and make us scared about the Republicans. You can't. Because one thing black folks said, listen, we went through 4 years of Trump. We still here talking to you. We worked. We actually made some money. We paid our bills. We fed our kids. Sure, we had a pandemic, but hey, we on the other side of it. So we survived all that. So we'll be okay if Trump get back in there. We'll be just fine. You got a lot of black folks saying they actually want Trump to get back in there, especially in Chicago and New York. So Trump can say, hey, come on, y'all got to go on back to your homeland. Do things the right way. American citizens need the funds. American citizens. Biden has prioritized everybody else except the black community. And like I said before, if you benign and neglect black folks, we're going to benign and neglect you on election day. That's all. But once again, I'm going to remind y'all, go to the Democrat shields that try to shame us into voting and try to tell us we're stupid, that we don't know civics 101. Like I said, you act like a little parakeet. You learn a new word, you just keep repeating it. Go and tell them, why don't you go and shame the Asian community? Because Biden did do something for them. Tell those Democrat shields to say, hey, where's the investment and all the ad, buys in the Asian community? The migrants who can't vote for you, the Ukrainians who can't vote for you. Go holler at them. Like I said before, it is utterly offensive. It is offensive for the Democrats to be coming to black people. And black folks showed them in Louisiana what happens when you don't do right by black folk. But you think, okay, they're going to do something for black folk. No, they're not. They're not. They're going to double down and triple down on not doing nothing, because how they feel is they can't let you dictate anything to them. They do what they want to do. How many times I put up that picture and put that picture up, and that's it right there. The Democrats are Calvin Candy and the Shields are Stephen. Point blank. But y'all in election day, I believe a lot of you going to teach them. You're going to show them better than tell them. Like I said, shoot. Hey, we can make a great thing out of it. We can do, like a dinner, a cookout, or something that day. Like I said, if you're not going to vote for the other side, then you want to sit it out, either or. Shoot. I definitely want to watch Biden crash and burn on election day, because he just offensive to me. He's offensive. He done nothing for our community. Everybody else benefited off of the black vote. And that's what should make you upset. Everybody's benefiting off of your vote. You the one came out there and vote. The migrants didn't go vote. The Asian community didn't go out there and vote like in mass numbers. They weren't even shamed about any voting. You voted, they benefited. So I'm like this. You say, well, what the Republicans going to do? Well, let's say this. Let's say they don't do nothing. Well, at least they won't do nothing for everybody. At least the migrants won't be getting nothing no more. There you go. American citizens are supposed to be prioritized first. Then after you take care of home, then you do charity. You understand? You take care of your city, you take care of your state, you take care of your country. Then if you got enough after that, you take care of people throughout the world. But as we covered last night, Biden got all kind of money to do things, to help. But he won't help American citizens, but then he won't come up to us talking about what he's done for black folk. Man, please. Well, federal judges, man, all the time you're going to deal with a federal judge. You know what I mean? It's rare somebody going to deal with a federal judge in any case. If you're not no criminal or you don't have no, big time case coming up, it's rare most people going to deal with any kind of federal judge. But yeah, you talking about federal judges, and Man, folks worrying about food on the table, keeping the lights on, keeping their car outside like they're supposed to, keeping the roof over their head. That's what people thinking about. They're not thinking about no federal judges. They're not even thinking about no Ketanji Brown Jackson. Well, what is she gonna do when your light's about to get cut off? What Ketanji Brown Jackson gonna do for the black people in Chicago that's losing their resources? What is she gonna do? It's not like she passed any laws to stop anything from happening. She don't come out there criticizing Biden. She couldn't even tell Congress what is a woman. I'm sitting in South Africa at the time, watching this woman can't even ask a simple question, what is a woman? A simple question. And she's a woman. So if this lady can't even answer what a woman is, like, how is that benefiting black folk? Like I said, the brother said earlier, it's tokenism. And we over tokenism. Tokenism is offensive at this point. And a lot of black men have seen the playbook, this divide and conquer strategy. Oh, we're going to do for the sisters, but let the brothers wither on the vine. That's their strategy, to cause dissension in our community. But black men going to show them, because it's black men who have to take care of their families. A lot of black men are saying this. I got to take care of my family, so if the other side is going to help me in my business or push more entrepreneurship, then I'm going to talk to the other side. Forget all that. I'm proud of black men who saying that they sick and tired of this Democrat Party. They looking more at policy over party. They're saying, hey, they got policies that's going to benefit our community. And we as men got to take a stand as men and say, we're going to do what we got to do. We didn't care about what nobody say, because as a man, you do what you have to do to take care of your family, to take care of your community. Who cares if somebody say something about it? But we're going to keep on covering these, stories. They were so worried about the black vote, but once again, go worry about the Asian vote. Go worry about the migrants. Go worry about Ukraine. Go worry about all of them. Go tell them to vote for you, Biden administration. Because the black community, a lot of them talking about sitting it out. And that's what you fear, but you created that problem. You went from having every black person come out there and vote for you that they can, to now everybody talking about sitting it out. Y'all done that, Democrats.